Welcome to Tiger Talk.
This is Tiger Talk! This is Tiger Talk! This is Tiger Talk!
Welcome to Tiger Talks!
Hello and welcome to a special segment of Tiger Talk. I am Maybeth Youngblood here with our new superintendent, Mr. Russ Tate. Thank you for being here with us this morning.
Thank you, Ms. Youngblood.
I wanted to start with asking you about your background. Where did you go to high school? Where did you go to college? How did you get into Deschler?
To Deschler. First of all, I graduated from Hazel Green High School. I attended grades 1 through 12 there. I then went to Northwest Shoals in Phil Campbell and played baseball for a couple years. Joined the Alabama Army National Guard to finish my schooling and graduated from Athens State University. I worked at Buckhorn High School for many years, and then I attended the University of North Alabama to get my educational leadership degree, and I got my master's and my EDS from the University of North Alabama. Met my wife. My wife is from this area. When we got married, she made a statement that we would be moving back home, and we then moved back here. I got a job at Florence High School so that we could move back to the Shoals area for her. And then in 2015, I was named the principal of Deschler High School. I've been in this system for 7 years and have absolutely fallen in love with Tuscumbia. I attend church at First Presbyterian. I'm here with my children doing something every night, it seems like, in rec sports. So it's just a great place, and I love it here.
Which falling in love with Deschler is super easy to do
Yeah,
because it's so great.
It is.
And how old are your kids?
I have a second grader and a fourth grader. I also have two older children who are adults. They are 20 and 23, and they live and work in Huntsville.
Okay, awesome. And what are your plans as the new superintendent? What are you going to improve upon or change?
Well, the big thing is just continue to build on the culture that was established by Mr. Akerson in regards to academics and continue to push that academic effort. That's the one big thing that we see, not in Tuscumbia, we see this nationwide in the fact that academic effort needs to improve amongst students. And we want to instill that academic effort earlier, starting in the elementary grades, where they're learning to read and then changing to reading to learn. And continue to just make sure that we are providing our students with the best opportunity for what they want to be. And that can be 2-year college, 4-year college, career tech, trades. It does not matter what the end product is for them. We want them to be successful and prepared for that.
How do you plan to instill academic excellence into our students?
One big thing is education of the parents in regards to what is reported. They report our scores in the paper, and we want to be number one. That's the goal. Is we want to win on Friday nights, we want to win on Tuesday nights, we want to win in athletics, but we also need to take that same effort and win in the academics. And when they start putting our scores, our proficiency rates, our graduation rates, our CCR rates in the paper like they do now, we want to be number one, not just in the Shoals, we want to be number one in the state. And so I think that a lot of that has to do with just educating the parents on what they report, what they're expected to do. There's been a lot of talk with the Literacy Act and now the Numeracy Bill, and we need to make sure our parents understand what those laws entail.
Okay. So you said you want to educate the parents as to what is expected of them as the parent of the students. But what do you expect the teachers to expect of the students when we're in their classrooms?
Well, the one thing is the academic rigor has got to raise. And the only way to raise that academic rigor is by placing expectations on the student. Number one, complete your work. And by completing your work, then that allows the teacher to understand what the student knows, what the student is struggling with. And then allows that teacher to then come back and talk directly to that student and help that student along. Our students in all grades, K through 12, need to understand that the academic rigor has got to improve, not just for our scores to improve, which is ancillary of that, but for them to be prepared. And when you start to look at the end product, and I know we talk about the end product being a high school graduate, that rigor has got to be there so that they are prepared for whatever they want to do. And again, it does not matter. 2-year, 4-year trade school, I'm not concerned about that. All I'm concerned is they know beyond a shadow of doubt that they are prepared for the next step in life.
So rigor and accountability are big things for your plans for our school.
It's very big.
I do believe that holding students more accountable for their own education would better us and prepare us more for the next step, whether that be work, college, university, wherever you want to go. So I like that you're thinking like that. Do you want to move on to sports, or do you have anything else to say for education?
No, we can move on to sports.
Okay, so what do you plan to improve for our sports? Any facilities being improved, or any sports being more recognized, or how do you proceed?
Well, we've done a great job. We have turf on the football field. We are going to install turf on the baseball and softball fields. We have
Along with their new lights.
Along with new lights that flash when we hit home runs, and we have air in the dome. We have a new court that is there. We are allowed to now have multiple volleyball games going on at the same time, and it's a reasonable temperature,
Yes.
which is big.
Thank God.
The other sports are, the tennis team just got back from the state tennis tournament. Our boys tennis team started 4 years ago, and in 4 years, including COVID, they have went from 0 students participating, male students participating in tennis, to qualifying for the state tournament. So
That's awesome.
that is, and so increasing that and increasing our female sports, golf, cross country. There's a lot of sports, and we want students to be involved in everything. But not just, it's not just sports, it's also the fine arts. And we want to allow our students who are athletic and fine art related to have the opportunity to participate in a sport and a choir, a sport and band. We don't want to pigeonhole our students into saying you have to choose one thing for the next 4 years of your life. We want them to have all those opportunities. I want to see the band grow. I would love to have a show choir.
That would be awesome.
I love plays. I love the Wickeds and the Les Mis and things like that. I love to see students perform, and that's their passion. We also have now, this is the first year, now we have a K through 5 art teacher. And so the students in K through 5 are experiencing art. And that expression allows them to find another avenue. And that's big for me is sports get a lot of publicity, but it's also the fine arts as well.
So you want all students to be able to dabble in however many arts, musicals, sports, whatever they want.
We want to develop a well-rounded student and give them a well-rounded education, whether it's academics, but it's also those other things that surround the academics, and allowing them the freedom to choose what they want to do.
As a cheerleader and a golfer, I see lots of different, price ranges maybe, because cheer is one of the more expensive sports that we have. Do you have a plan for the money being spread out or anything that for sports?
Unfortunately, all of our sports, all of our activities are solo enterprises. And so whatever revenue, whatever fundraising they have, they generate that for them. But I also understand that in the city of Tuscumbia, we don't need to continue to ask and ask and ask and ask. And so we would like to revise possibly our fundraising campaign, have a capital campaign, and also a fundraising campaign to where we ask a business, here are the sports and activities that we offer at Desher High School. What would you like to contribute to? And so through one contribution, they could dedicate that money to individual sports or fine arts, and then we can reallocate that money to those. Unfortunately, cheer is very expensive. I did not realize how expensive it was. But there are things that we need to look at. Cheer is expected to cheer at every football game and every basketball game. But the gates go to those individual sports.
Right.
And so looking at possible other, without taking away from the sports, adding to cheer. So,
Right.
you know, we need to explore opportunities. And a lot of it is just asking around. You know, how do you do it here? How do you do it there?
Right.
And because it's done a lot of places. I was at, when I was in Madison County, I was at Spartan High School, and we had a tremendous national champion cheer squad.
Right.
And they would always participate in the national cheer competition. And they raised money, but they raised money in different avenues. And so I don't want a child to be denied an opportunity because of funding.
Yes, that was my main point with that, because it does seem that sometimes it deters people from
It does.
different sports, like not just cheer, but
Right.
other sports as well. But I'm glad that you have a plan to let all the sports receive financial support.
Right.
I know parent involvement is very important to you and to your mission as our new superintendent, but how do you plan to reach the parents and the rest of the community as well?
Well, the big thing is through communication. And we have got to communicate everything that we do. We've got to be very transparent in that. Sports, we have people come. But with that, we also need to advertise within those events. We are looking to purchase some video boards so that at the football game we can make an announcement. There's 5,000 people at a football game. Well, that's 5,000 eyes that, or 10,000 eyes that we should be able to reach right there. Filming a lot of things. We should not produce a play. We should not produce a parent meeting and not film it. And archive those on our website. We've got to do a better job of updating our website and updating our Facebooks and Twitters and Instagrams and every other social media. I'm not going to say TikTok, but we're going to stay away from that one. But making sure that all of our communication is out there. All of our communication is accessible. One thing that was asked of me is, how do parents know? How do parents know what's going on? Well, we say we send home a letter. We say we do this. Not every letter gets home. Not every website gets read. Not every Twitter feed gets mentioned. And so a lot of that is just communication by the teachers, sending out emails to the parents. They have access now through PowerSchool to do that. We can blast an email now to every parent. We want to make sure that there's no gaps in our communication. We want to make sure that our parents know what's going on. One of the big things for me is making sure that we have times available as well. So we will have parent meetings with multiple time slots. A 4 o'clock time slot and then a 6 o'clock time slot, so that hopefully we can get everybody. And then we're going to video it anyway, so then we can push it out if they can't attend that as well.
So very transparent with the parents and a greater presence on social media.
Yes.
Because I have noticed that there is a slight gap in our social media things, and everybody is super busy, and
Right.
that makes sense. But parents do seem to fall and not know exactly what's going on. So I like that. That sounds really great. Do you have any other plans that you want to talk about?
Well, just, the big thing is we've got to continue moving forward. And, when I said I want to be number one in the state, I want to be number one in the state. There's no reason why we're not. All of our children come to our school between 8 and 3 to learn. And it is our job as educators to provide them with that academic experience so that they are prepared. But then we also have to make sure that we are providing opportunities to tutor students. We are going to continue our before and after school tutoring. We have seen great gains in that. We are exploring grant opportunities now so that through COVID, we have been allowed to provide that for free. And we are exploring grants now to where we can continue to provide K through 5 after-school tutoring for free for our parents. Another thing is I want to increase the pre-K. Right now we only have 2 pre-K classes, which is I think a max of 40 students. And if we can increase our pre-K, we can get our students earlier. And not to say that there's not bad pre-Ks out there, but we can go ahead and identify students earlier as to their needs and begin working with them more intensive as early as possible.
So training them from pre-K to be the best graduates they can be.
Yes, that is really beneficial. And Governor Ivey has pushed that, and she's been a very big advocate for increasing pre-K. And research shows the earlier they're exposed to letters and numbers and shapes and colors, then the quicker they will learn later on. The other thing is making sure that we do not have students that are retained in the 3rd grade due to the Literacy Act. Even though it was delayed, it's our job to prepare our students to be able to read. We are working with Helen Keller Library right now to provide free library cards for those students where they can go check out books all throughout the summer. We are opening up our libraries at GWT this summer so our students can go and check out books throughout the summer. Literature in the home is very critical in that early age, and so we're going to make sure that is available for our students. And then with this numeracy bill coming up, there's no retention in that, but in the numeracy, it's increasing that mathematical fluency, which, as you know, you're a junior now.
Yes.
Knowing that upper level math is going to help you on your ACTs and on your AP classes. But we may push that ACT, but it's also in those trades. Those students who are going to the trades, they also have to have solid mathematical foundations
Right.
for when they are going to nursing and electrical and plumbing and things like that. And so that's the thing is making sure our early students are prepared so that we can expound upon that in grades 6 through 12.
Do you have any, you said ACT, and made me think of this, do you have any plans to push or better the ACT score as the grade? I know that when the juniors took it, I think 2 weeks ago, our goal was a 19. I'm not sure what our score is yet. We haven't heard on that. But what is your plan to move us from a 19 up into the 20s or higher?
Well, first of all, we got our scores back, and we did improve. We went up 0.4 points, which that's tremendous. Growth is tremendous, and we're going to celebrate all growth. But one thing that we are going to I'm not going to say I'm going to institute it, but we are exploring right now is an initiative beginning in the 6th grade to work with our students starting in grade 6 on things they should know in grade 6 to prepare them for the ACT later on. And again, that is a reportable score for our system. That is a reportable score for our high school. And so we are going to begin that process hopefully next year. And then by the time they get to the high school, we're going to increase that through our reach and having ACT preparation in our reach. And we're working, right now I'm just working with the company trying to get some prices on that. But we also have other products, iExcel, things like that we're pushing to the high school next year so that students are able to work independently and work with a teacher to increase their ACT proficiency.
That'll be good for the years to come.
Well, it'll be good for you too,
Yes, it
because
will.
you need that another score always.
Oh, I do. I have about 6 months until I have to turn in my final score, so I'm still working on improving that. But I'm so glad that you came today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So thank you for being here. Do you want to sign off with me?
Well, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has ever helped me along the way. Thank you to the Tuscumbia City School Board of Education for allowing me this opportunity, and I look forward to working with the citizens and the teachers of Tuscumbia.
Thank you for tuning in to our special segment of Tiger Talk. I'm Mabeth Youngblood, here with Mr. Tate. Thank you for coming.